U.S. intelligence agency mind control.
Alrighty.
Star-studded state dinner at the White House, and even a former president stopping by, with President Biden, the First Lady, and some 500 guests gathering to honor William Ruto, the president of Kenya, the first African nation granted a state visit since Ghana in 2008.
And you know, Jill and I are honored to have you here and representing, including many members of the African diaspora. One just left, Barack.
Former President
Look at all my black
was born in
friends.
Kenya, was meeting with Ruto at the White House and made a surprise appearance at a reception, but left before the dinner. Among the VIPs, former President Bill Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, actor Sean Penn, and
Gosh,
country
she
music.
looks awful.
Huh?
She looked more
Former President Bill
goblin-esque
Clinton.
than ever.
And former
Look
Secretary
at this wretch.
Yeah.
She's shrinking and getting more witch-like.
Wow, sounds sexist.
Yeah, fuck this bitch.
State Hillary Clinton, actor Sean Penn, and country music
Just
star.
because you can't get a supply of baby blood anymore.
Speaking of which, did you know that the RNC headquarters were shut down because somebody sent blood and it burst open?
Really? Is that
Yeah.
what it was? It
And
was
then-
at the bottom of the playlist yesterday.
And
Oh,
so,
wow.
the initial reports were that white powder was sent. This was made up. There was no evidence of this. All that happened is people with bio gear showed up, right? So because it's a bio, like blood is always to
Is
be
a
treated as a
biohazard,
biohazard.
Mm-hmm.
So people in bio suits set up, but it was probably like someone's like blood labs and stuff. You know, you can get them
Yeah,
sent for your
probably.
work. But because they burst open, so people were like, a white powder was sent there. Where's Hunter? Oh, this is the Democrats doing more terrorism against the Republican Party.
Yeah.
It's like, you people are so fucking delusional.
Yeah. Like, what world are you living in?
Notice how that shit didn't even make the news, that lockdown.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It was, there was one video I think you put on the thing.
Yes. I was expecting it. I was watching that story because it came out while I was at the doctor's.
Yep.
Well, Bill actually looks great because he's lost a ton of weight, you know? He's like thinner than he's ever been.
Yeah.
Secretary of State Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, he actually looks pretty healthy, honestly.
Yeah.
She doesn't.
He's still got the blood supply.
He's still in the club.
What you don't
Actor
see
Sean Penn and
is
country
like
music star.
actually like there's actually like it's just off camera, but I actually have a footage or a picture of it of just off camera what was actually going on there. Hang on, I'm pulling it. I'm trying to pull it up, but it wasn't. I was expecting it to be way easier to pull up. I was just gonna pull up Mad Max because they use him as a blood bag, but there wasn't a good image that I could pull up quick enough.
Fair enough.
Brad Paisley.
Just keep your screen shared and just
No, I literally couldn't find an image that would have
okay.
amplified the joke.
Right, fair enough.
Owning his hits.
I
in
normally
Africa,
do keep it
stakes are high
shared,
for the U.S.
and I just click it off on accident.
As Russia and China gain influence there. Kenya is also leading a multinational security force to help stabilize Haiti, which is largely controlled by armed gangs after the assassination of its president 3 years ago. The Biden administration has promised to set aside $300 million for the effort.
There's going to be U.S. forces, none on the ground, but we're going to supply logistics, intelligence, and equipment.
As the president toasted his guests, his 2024 rival also taking center stage at a rally in the Bronx.
Imagine if we were on
overflowing.
Hillary's second term right now. Okay, let's think about how things could be different there. No First Step Act. I don't. Hot take. I don't think weed would be legal in New York right now.
No.
If Hillary was president, for some reason, I just feel that in my bones. The Republicans still would have made the fascist shift with Trump. You know, but him not being president, he may not have the influence over the Republican Party right now that could be good. And then as far as like foreign policy goes, she was an abysmal Secretary of State.
Mm.
I don't know what they were thinking putting her with foreign policy. I think, like put her in like treasury or infrastructure or something. Like, come on. So it would have to depend on who would be the foreign policy representative for the US in her admin for that type of stuff. The Doha talks to deal with the Taliban wouldn't have happened. Um,
The shit with North Korea never would have happened.
yeah, the question is, I think North Korea would have turned out better because it was South Korea's plan to try and get the United States to get involved with the.
Yeah,
So I think it would have been more receptive there.
possibly.
Then you also have Ukraine, would she have been more hawkish, giving them more weapons in advance? Maybe she would have been more like Angela Merkel and appeased Russia. It's hard to tell if she would appease Russia or actually be like more, because she's a woman, she might feel like she needs to stand up to any man who comes at her, because there's that reputation, because for some reason we're like the only modern country that can't put women in high office.
It's so weird.
It's like they have to be like extra brutal to like account for their feminism.
Yeah.
Or the femininity.
The UK is the same.
Yeah.
And
but the UK has had plenty, like there was just Truss in there and she was shitty and got kicked out. Nobody was like, it's because she's a woman. In the United States, though, it's like, oh, you can't put a woman in charge. She'll have a hot flash and push the nuclear button. Like no other country talks like that. Pakistan has had women as leaders. Not only that, one of the probably the most famous Pakistani leader was a woman.
Yeah, it's very strange.
I don't get it. So,
King Biden and saying that under his economic policies,
African Americans are getting slaughtered. Hispanic Americans are getting slaughtered.
While back in D.C., the president is also looking ahead to the election, sounding optimistic about his chances when teasing a visit to Kenya next year.
I plan on going to February.
The Kenyan president's visit continues today.
That would be dope.
Hosted by the vice president.
The president going to Kenya.
Chairs, thank you very much.
Yeah, you can have a safari.
So I don't know if it's announced here, but like our relationship with Kenya has been amplified. I think also I think they're still pursuing on getting Kenya into Haiti. And he also met it. Yes, that's part of what they met about and had some press conference about, but they also met with the Speaker of the House. So this is a very formal meeting. And they announced that Kenya is going to be now a major non-NATO U.S. ally. So we're talking about Saudi Arabia, Israel, now Kenya. As I've said multiple times, Kenya isn't necessarily the best state, but I think that their government is better than Saudi Arabia's and Israel's at the moment. So not a bad pickup.
It could be a starting point for that Horn
just
alliance thing.
More uplifting and stuff.
Yeah.
And what's interesting though is like not that long ago, all these articles are coming out about booming, not so much industrialization, more urbanization. There was a lot of building projects in Kenya, right? Like its skyline was changing faster than other countries.
Yeah.
And like it was because China was investing a lot in their buildings and infrastructure. So Kenya was actually a lot closer with China not that long ago. They've now shifted over to being closer with the United States.
I wonder why.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't miss the...
Shush.
Oh, God.
Not sure what that was in reference to, but
not Sullivan.
Everybody. Thank you. The president.
He's this admin's Jared Kushner.
First Lady Rachel Ruto to the White House
Looks
for a
like
state
it.
visit and dinner tomorrow.
Sounds like
the
it.
official program will actually begin later today with President Biden and President Ruto sharing some informal
And the dynamo of energy and excitement, Jared Kushner.
with U.S. and Kenyan CEOs and other business leaders in the East Rim.
Blowing.
What?
Sullivan actually stood up to MBS instead of blowing him. That's the difference.
That's funny.
President Biden is really looking forward to celebrating and deepening our 60-year-old friendship with Kenya as it grows from a regional partnership to a global one. This is the first state visit by an African head of state in nearly 20 years. It is long overdue. And it's emblematic of the priority the president
Wait. Okay, you know what? I already concluded where my ignorance is here. Okay, let's see if you can put. Oh my God! Of course, I typed in South Sudan Bush because I wanted the picture of him with Bush. Would you believe that was the dumbest thing I could have searched? But still, I got one result with what I wanted. Wow, crazy. I can't believe Bushes came up in South Sudan. But what I wanted was this picture, right? Yeah. Slavakar's famous hat was given to him by Bush, right?
Okay.
See, I'm stupid here because South Sudan wasn't independent yet when he came to the... So it didn't count as a head of state because they weren't officially recognized yet. I was like, wait. South Sudan has definitely been to the White House. What is he talking about?
To the people of Africa and to elevating their voices in global governance and global problem solving. In December of 2022, the president hosted leaders from across the African continent for the U.S.-Africa Leaders Summit in Washington, D.C., where, in fact, he first met President Ruto. President Biden called for the African Union to be able to join the G20 as a permanent member. And in September of last year, the G20, in fact, welcomed the African Union as a permanent member.
They should,
We've also
and
had a
Nigeria
historic number
has
of senior U.S. government leaders travel to the continent. Since 2022, 24 senior officials have traveled to Africa, including the vice president, the first lady, and 7 members of the president's cabinet.
Yes, exactly.
Now, as one of our
exactly.
closest strategic partners in Africa, Kenya has worked side by side with the United States to tackle some of the most significant challenges of our time. And over the next few days, you'll see President Biden and President Ruto commit to deepening our partnership on critical and emerging technologies, on improving health, on fighting climate change, on supporting civil society, on enhancing peace and security, and of course on enriching
Sounds like gobbledygook.
the United States and Kenya. Their statements and their
Future
substantive
technology. What does that mean?
ties, which are founded on shared democratic values.
Yeah, but what is the future technology that Kenya's producing? Or maybe they just mean we want the resources from Kenya to produce this technology.
Maybe they're gonna put factories and shit there. Maybe they're gonna put innovation there. Who knows?
Well, Kenya also has a lot of influence over Africa to extract resources, so that way we don't look like we're the colonialist extracting the resources.
Sure.
See, it's like you know, you would see like in slavery they would make basically another slave who had more privileges whip slaves and punish slaves.
Yeah,
because it went over better when it was one of them doing it, right? It's like it's just a continued like weirdness of this whole thing.
Aspiration.
Kenya already exports military. They do a lot of stuff for stability in the region.
Kenya is an emerging technology hub, and so you can expect announcements about new investments in partnership.
They're an emerging technology hub. What does that mean? I have to look into this.
The challenges that debt poses to developing countries. So you can expect he and President Biden will announce.
Hey, why are they in that debt?
Yeah, what country?
On how the international community can
step
Kenya.
Up to mitigate why are they in that debt?
What country are they in debt to?
Inclusive growth. This visit will also highlight Kenya's important role in global peace and security. The U.S.-Kenya partnership, for example, plays a central role in international efforts to defeat al-Shabaab and other terrorist organizations. You can expect further announcements over the course of the visit that enhance our security partnership. The United States is also firmly committed to supporting Kenya in its deployment to lead the multinational security support mission to Haiti, which will provide much needed security assistance to the Haitian people. And we appreciate, of course, the strong, principled, consistent stance that Kenya has taken in supporting Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity. Through this visit, which will unfold through a series of events and culminate in the state dinner tomorrow night, we are demonstrating how, as President Biden has said himself, the United States is all in on Africa and all in with Africa. Most importantly, we are recognizing our rich history of partnership, friendship, and support for Kenya and focusing on our shared future. This year marks 60 years of partnership.
Take note, France. This is how you do colonialism in Africa, you dumbasses.
This important and historic state visit. And with that, I'd be happy to take your questions. Yeah.
Well, I'd just like to say we are grateful to host the president. As you all may recognize or remember, this is, I believe, the first state visit for an African nation since 2008. And of course, we regard Kenya as
2008, I guess,
in East Africa and in a very strategic partnership that we have together with our countries, and we certainly honor and appreciate
That's
that.
state
A couple of thoughts I
speaking,
just wanted to share, and I'll
talky
share with the
bullshit.
president here privately when we visit, but we certainly are mourning the loss
Three
of
flag.
many in the recent floods there. We
Where the Kenyan
relate
flag.
to natural disasters here as well, and I know.
Are you talking about not a lot strikes over the
resident of
border?
Louisiana, we have lots of flooding
Because
issues, and those are
as we've covered, I don't know if Kenya said anything about this, but the United States has basically flat out said that Ukraine has the right to attack them. They just say, don't use our weapons. Just like how they tell Israel, hey, don't use our weapons to genocide the Palestinians, and then nothing happens when Israel does it. They got a few ones restricted while another billion went, you know? So what I'm saying is Ukraine should just do it and be like, well, Israel did this, and what aboutism, you know? Just what aboutism about the weapons?
It's
And
not a bad strategy.
the NATO command, the literal leader of NATO, has also said that Ukraine has the right to attack inside of Russia.
Yeah. I also think that any weapons given to Ukraine can use however they want. Within limits, obviously. Like, don't go fucking killing civilians on purpose and shit. Or like using cluster bombs too specific. Like, don't be doing retribution shit with the American weapons that you've been given, right? Use them effectively.
Yeah, use them to sink the Black Sea Fleet.
Yeah. So use them effectively. Don't fuck around. Don't be stupid with them. Show Russia that you can be a better force. That's all you need to do. That's how you get support. Is you demonstrate that you can be the more ethical army with those weapons, and you will get more. I think. Hopefully. I don't know. Maybe Russia's propaganda is that strong that maybe that's not enough. Maybe nothing is enough, and maybe it's all politicking.
Bro, holy shit. I'm learning. I did not know any of this side of Kenya.
Opposing extremists around the world and partnering together to oppose
So
al-Shabaab
check
and the
the
jihadists.
it's this. Oh, he only is meeting about al-Shabaab. Okay. So this is from, it says the information communication technology, ICT, has been an important aspect of because it's like communication tech. That's totally true. As I've said before, Kenya with like journalism is huge, right?
Okay.
That's communication. That's like, you know, so like information communication technology, that's journalism. You know, not, you know, part of journalism is that.
Sure.
In the year 2000, East Africa, Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania had approximately 250,000 internet users. By the end of 2014, they had 29 million.
Damn.
Kenya is the forefront of technological innovations and is often referred to the Silicon Savannah.
God damn.
Their sector growth has outperformed every other sector, expanding by 23% annually in the last decade. The sector is now 6 times larger than it was at the beginning of the decade. The remarkable growth can be attributed in part to innovations such as the introduction of revolutionary mobile money. So they literally have their own cryptocurrency, basically, is what it's saying, you know, but it's like a Venmo type thing. So don't tell crypto bros this. They might get ideas and think that it's actually a good idea because it's.
Wait, so what? Kenya has an internal crypto.
Yeah, so that so let me look this actual thing up. Okay, check this. So maybe you've even heard of this. I'm sure people have heard of this and used it in other places. Except all cookies. Why not? Okay. So it's M-Pesa, Africa's most successful mobile money service, fintech platform, preferred to make payments across the continent for both banked and unbanked due to the safety and unmatched convenience. This is crypto. Right?
Yeah.
But this is like actual crypto, like not the scam shit we have now.
Yeah. The actual like blockchain cryptocurrency.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, like Venmo, like is what it sounds like.
Yeah, like the way that voting should be, kind of shit. Yeah, this is how it's. If it can do this, it can do voting.
Look, Safaricom and Vodacom acquiesced them. new African markets, how it works. Customers register for the service at authorized agent, often small phone sellers or other retail such as barbers, butchers, and bakers, and deposit cash in exchange for electronic money. This is what's I was talking about with Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is really embracing crypto right now because their currency is so shit that nobody uses cash anymore in Zimbabwe. It's all through the phone electronically.
Yeah.
So thanks to Kenya, that was possible, I guess. So
There you go.
yeah, no, that's what it is. I'm saying crypto is like digital currency that's supposed to be like, outside of the bank, right? But like what we know of crypto today with NFTs and stuff, it's all a scam. This is like actual fucking money that you can use and will like, it's not like, some Gary V cartoon of a shitty snake that it tells you that you're going to make money on. So spend thousands of dollars on it.
In the Red Sea and other places. And we're really grateful for what Kenya has done to assist with Haiti in recent days in our hemisphere to try to keep stability. We applaud all of the good work and leadership that you've championed with regard to the anti-corruption laws and all of those things. Really, really important. We believe, and I know you do as well, that economic stability can really assist with social stability. And that's an important principle that we try to advance together. And I know there are a lot of Americans excited about further investment in Kenya, especially with the tech sector and some of the things that you all are advancing. And so we're really
this
happy.
is really fucking interesting. All this stuff. It's basically saying that like Kenya basically realized that investing in this internet infrastructure is going to leapfrog. It literally says Kenya's ability. So digital economy blueprint, a framework to improve Kenya and Africa's leapfrog economic growth. The document is hinged on 5 pillars: digital government, digital business, infrastructure, innovation driven through entrepreneurship, and digital skills and values. They literally have a ministry of information communication technology. Its core responsibility is formulating and administering, managing, and developing the information broadcasting and communication policy. Because like, remember literally last stream, we were looking at that one, the charity, the NGO that, and I was like, this is great for Kenya, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because it's literally their government policy to invest in that type of stuff. So
Interesting. It's good
I
government
guess.
policy, it sounds like.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about this with Kenya. I knew a lot of other things about Kenya.
To advance that. So we just want to say we're just very happy for your visit, and the timing, I believe, is important. There's a lot going on around the world, things that deeply concern both of our nations, and I think the stronger our partnership, the better off all of us are. And so we want to advance those ideas on your visit and welcome all of your dignitaries and officials that have come along. We appreciate your time and being here, and we're really happy to welcome you here. So thank you for coming.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. It's a great honor for me to visit the United States and for your consideration for us to have this conversation in this very auspicious institution. As you know, Kenya and the United States share a common bond, and we share common values of freedom, democracy, rule of law. And we are celebrating this year 60 years of a solid friendship between the United States and Kenya, sharing
60 years.
many areas, as you have said correctly. In the space around peace and security, I think
I think what people should also remember about Kenya is that al-Qaeda bombed them trying to antagonize the U.S. One of al-Qaeda's first attacks was in Kenya, and well, the target of the attack, the very little damage was done to the target, but there was an apartment building that collapsed, and that killed hundreds of people. And they also hit Tanzania as well, which was the other one that was mentioned. As it was Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania. This is what caused Clinton to do Infinite Reach. And Hashmi comes on, and they're like, "Did they get Bin Laden? Why are you bombing us? Did you kill Bin Laden? Why are you bombing us?" About the Taliban, they bombed all the training camps and stuff. But like Scott told me that he has talked to a guy. I've tried to, and this is the thing, these intelligence guys, they say stuff, and then I'm like, well, tell them to come on and tell me, right? And he said he'd ask it, nothing came of it. But this guy claims to have arrested Osama bin Laden after this. And then a call came through to cut him loose when they were about to get on a helicopter to extradite him. I don't believe it.
It sounds like a crock of shit.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't believe it if it wasn't Scott who said it to me. But it's coming out. It's a story that some other guy has told him, but it's a guy he allegedly works with. So,
yeah, I need more. Need more.
Yeah, I mean, I tried.
To resolve challenges of security. For example, in the Horn of Africa, we have security challenges in Somalia. And you have said correctly, we have been fighting the al-Shabaab for the last almost.
We have security challenges in Somalia, Ethiopia, Eritrea, all of them, South Sudan. What else we got? What else is around there? What's on the west? Mali.
U.S. mobile devices are available and competing for the middle to upper income brackets with brands like whatever. The lower to middle end of the market, however, is price sensitive, resulting in wide use of cheap and often counterfeit mobile devices that easily available when often sold. This is the whole continent, by the way. So Kenya apparently is the main reason why people have smartphones in Africa.
Interesting. Good for Kenya. Good for Africa.
Years. And part of the conversation we're going to have is on how we can make sure that the drawdown of ATMIS troops does not create a vacuum that will end up being filled by al-Shabaab. And Kenya and the United States and frontline states need to work together to see how that can be done, not calendar-based withdrawal, but conditions-based withdrawal.
A lot of BPO stuff. If you don't know what BPOs are, we're not getting into it.
Sudan, in Eastern DRC, Kenya is the anchor state, and we are doing the heavy lifting around.
I agree with that. I've always thought they were the anchor state. I've argued this many times. See, because like I've looked at their economics. I didn't realize that this was such a big part of their economics. I thought it was like just development in general and not a specific like tech sector.
Strengthen the bond and the relationship and the partnership.
See, sometimes I learn stuff in real time about geopolitics. Now I'll always be talking about Kenya's tech sector, and I'll never shut up about it.
As you do stuff elsewhere. You also agree that
it's a good thing to talk about.
We will be discussing how we can build on investment, on trade, on business. And in the spaces around AGOA, we will be asking the Congress to renew AGOA for another 10 years.
What's that?
It means opportunities. It means business. It means access to markets to many people, not just in Kenya.
Must be an agreement.
But in the African continent. We will also be having a conversation around VEPFA and
AGOA.
Save maybe 20, 30 million lives.
Okay. African Growth and Opportunity Act.
As well.
There you go.
Economic financial transport hub. I knew that. I knew this. It's an economic financial transport hub.
More people can continue to benefit from that.
Yeah, you know how China like exploits its like developing country type thing?
Yes.
So like listen to this. Like tell me what this sounds like. Kenya has been ranked as a lower middle income country because of its per capita GDP crossed a World Bank threshold. So it just went up to a lower middle income country because its GDP crossed the threshold. Right?
Sounds.
While Kenya has a growing entrepreneurial middle class and steady growth, its development has been impaired by weak governance and corruption.
What's their Freedom House score?
Oh, hang on. You know, I got that on standby. That's right on my and you know, it's great because I know where Kenya is as I click Ethiopia on accident. It was because I was trying to zoom in and it didn't zoom in, it just clicked Ethiopia. Political 22, civil liberties 30. So they have a total score of 52, ranking as a partly free country.
Okay.
In February, the Supreme Court upheld a law ruling that allowed an LGBT plus group to register as an NGO. The National Gay and Lesbian Human Rights Commission originally sought judicial review in 2013 after the government denied its resignation. The Supreme Court rejected the challenge to its ruling in September. I think that sounds good.
Well, it sounds like they got through.
There was people that were killed in a protest. Oh, not Kenya. So, but let's compare it to Ghana. Ghana has 80. So, Ghana's still winning. Ghana, I think, is the highest in Africa. Yes, it is. So, even higher than those precious Arab states like Egypt and Algeria and Morocco.
Of course, working together also on how the United States, being the leader of free market economy, how we can have a fairer international financial system where all countries are treated equally, and especially as we look at the replenishment of the International Development Association.
Okay, what's the next one?
Everyone in? Hello, everyone. It's great to be here. Secretary Raimondo, thank you for the update you gave us, and I want to
Enjoy.
thank all the folks around this table for prioritizing the partnership that I think is really, really important, and will deliver dividends for both our countries. And finally, Mr.
Look at
President,
him
I can't
putting the
thank you
guy right next to
for
him.
kicking off this visit.
Unlike
When I
Putin,
visited
who
Nairobi as
can't
Vice
touch
President,
people.
I said that the true strength of Kenya was its people, and the students, workers, founders, activists, innovators, entrepreneurs, and so many people like you who really do depend on democracy and support democracy. And today, as we honor 60 years of ties between our countries, it's clear that our people are the true strength of this partnership, and a partnership that's working well. Nowhere is it more
Wait, you mean to tell me there's a guy named Raimundo in the cabinet? That's how under discussed he is. I don't even know if this is a joke or
Our
not.
people have brought us forward and they've pioneered new technologies that are transforming millions of lives. I mean, literally millions of lives.
Can touch kids though.
And we've invested in new industries that have generated billions
Oh.
of dollars economically, and they've created new opportunities that have lifted up our countries across both our continents. And our people and our innovators have also brought together. We are all excited about this. I mean,
Listen,
I've
Moth.
seen my team so
Gotta
excited
fuck
about,
off.
a visit in a long time, and I think it's all because of the American companies.
Go fly somewhere
Oh,
else.
I'm kidding. As for President, as you and I discussed,
Yeah, go see the
we'll discuss
chinchillas,
tomorrow,
Moth.
we're launching a new era of technological cooperation between Kenya and America, including new exchanges and investments in key fields of cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, and semiconductors. And
I was about to say, is he going to say semiconductors? Putting Kenya, if Kenya can get the manufacturing of the lower end semiconductors, oh my God, will that be such a good thing?
50 years. And we need your help to seize this moment. We really do. And
Not even
we need
control,
your
just
help-
a
we need you to
challenge.
help us
Even
find
like
opportunities
10%
to
of the
bring public and
industry would
private
be
sectors
really
together.
good.
And we need you to help us strengthen
And
our
also
supply chains
cybersecurity and
advance
AI
into the future,
being
including
developed there now
energy
makes sense to me a lot because
And we
they
need
have
you
a lot of
investing in the
cybersecurity.
diversity of our democracies, which will make this innovation possible. So in return, I promise we'll prioritize technological partnerships between our countries. And as Ambassador Whitman, and by the way, she's smarter than I am. She's handling everything. I was amazed. We had a meeting earlier. This is ad-libbing, but she sat there. She had more statistical data to spout off without any piece of paper in her hand that amazed me. I don't know. Remind me of my sister. But look, I think
He's so personable.
In return, I think
He even goes, "This is an ad lib." You know, he's acknowledging that he's not reading it from his paper.
And our former CEO, who was also a former CEO, is going to make sure that happens.
Okay.
And
That's
President
why,
Harris
because like
is
that,
already
that's
building
here's
a
me
new
not caring
public-private
about
partnership to
economy.
increase
I just know,
investments
like,
in innovation.
I just know that one
Because
tiny
cooperation
lady
matters,
is the
not just
bank
for our own people, but for people
person
around the world.
yelling.
This relationship
I want to
continues
say
grow as it is, I
Yeltsin
think
though.
it's
I
going
always
to
think of her
United
name as
States,
Yeltsin.
Kenya, but will lead and will have positive benefits literally around the world. So thank you again for being here and look forward to working with you. And And, we keep investing in the true expanse of our nations, our people, and in the years ahead. With that, Mr. President, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. President, and on behalf of my delegation and I, in a very special way, thank you for extending an invitation to me to undertake this state visit. I bring you very warm greetings from the people of Kenya and our brothers and sisters from across the continent. And I undertake this state visit on the background of 60 years of solid friendship between the United States and Kenya. And specifically, Mr. President, on the subject we are driving today here on the digital space, on technology, and the whole space around investment, trade, and the relationship that we have managed to build over the years. To confirm to you that Kenya is a young tech country, and as you have said correctly, we have spent a lot of time working with our technology companies, our technology investors. We've had twinning relationships between Silicon Savannah in Kenya and Silicon Valley in the US. And this meeting is about what we can do together around digital jobs, business process,
Silicon Savannah,
research and development.
He
and
said
Mr.
the
President,
thing.
One very important aspect is the CHIPS Act, which hopefully we will be able to have a conversation about in the coming days. And Your Excellency, it speaks to the wealth of opportunity that exists between Kenya and the United
Excellency.
States. Our young population, talented, educated, innovative, and American technology that is cutting edge, and investment capital and investors that are hungry for opportunities, not just in Kenya, but in our continent, is a perfect match for this moment. I think we have a historic moment to explore investment opportunities between Kenya and the United States. And Mr. President, under your leadership, we believe that as we celebrate these 60 years of relationship between our two countries, we also celebrate the opportunities that come with the friendship that exists between our two countries. And as you have said correctly, the space around artificial intelligence, space around cybersecurity, and investments that come with it. We are expanding our footprint in the digital space. We are rolling out 100,000 kilometers of fiber optic in Kenya and connecting every ward and every village.
Good Lord.
To fiber backbone to make sure that e-commerce.
What's Kenya have better internet than Australia?
I bet you they have better internet than the UK already. I bet you it's way easier. Like, bro, even like so H3 today, they were trying to do an interview with a guy from from the UK. You know, has all the same problems we have whenever we try to talk to somebody from the UK. It's crazy how like they're like, I don't understand. Like, how do you not have like? It's probably because they left the EU. I bet. But like I was reading that Kenya, one of Kenya's main, and this is definitely a soft power policy, but one of their main things in that like tech agreement is that, oh my God, my phone's flashlight has been on this whole time, draining its battery. One of their main things in the tech stuff is that they believe that like every citizen in Africa should have access to the internet, not necessarily in their home, but they're able to at least go to a government station nearby and have access to like all their documents, any government, like any type of, it's a very like a progressive welfare type thing, you know?
Yeah.
Like they have access to the government services. They can go, they can use a computer, they can say, I need this type of service to the government. Whether that government fulfills it or not is a different story. The point is that they had a policy to interlink through the internet, the entire continent of Africa, and they've been doing it. Just like this.
Iceland has the third highest.
What, internet?
Oh,
speed?
sorry, no. Sorry. Chile has the highest internet speed, followed by China, then the United States, then Iceland. Then New Zealand is up there with like European countries, and the United States is above 200 as well. New Zealand's hanging out at like 160 megabits per second average. Australia chugging at 54. Kenya is 9,
So
pushing 10. So they're
what's the UK?
84. Better than
Bullshit.
Australia.
Bullshit. That's
on average,
bullshit.
better than Australia.
Bullshit.
says.
Bullshit.
Mm.
Bullshit.
Their mobile speed. This is the interesting one. Their mobile speed halved from their broadband. Australia's mobile speed is double the broadband. Mobile speed is double the broadband.
But yeah, Africa, they have 3G in most, and Kenya is also, I guess, building a lot of 4G, and that's their main thing, is to get everyone on 4G before they're going for 5G and that type of stuff, because they need the infrastructure there before they expand their industry, because that's how they make money.
Yeah. Well, Chad does not have internet, apparently.
Yep.
Niger has very slow internet. Mali has, interestingly, double the internet speed of Kenya, but no mobile coverage. Interesting.
How's Ghana?
37. Not great.
I mean, it's better than, sounds like better than most of the region.
Brazil is surprisingly fast.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me either. Brazil is kind of one of those countries.
Where's Costa Rica? It's here somewhere. There. 79. Better than Australia. Fuck yeah. All right. Let's keep going. Actually, I think we're done here.
Are you aware of a CIA psychological profile about you, sir? Would you be interested in hearing what the CIA had to say? This secret study portrays as a brilliant but dangerous megalomaniac who is likely to pursue his own aims in disregard of U.S. interests. He's an uncertain ally. Shall I go on, or would you prefer that I stop, sir?